Going on, Anatomy 2 Kids? It's Mr. Summers, just rocking my Gap Year sweatshirt, just about to do this sweet presentation on kidneys. So it is in the Unit 4 folder. It does say kidneys on it. All you need to do is click on that and follow along. If you want to take notes, go ahead. If you just want to listen to my sweet melodic voice, feel free. I'm game for either way. We'll go through the majority of it right now because I got nowhere to be. One of these says full screen, found it, best finder, and here we go. So nervous. Your kidneys, if you didn't know. Oh, by the way, if you want to take notes, go ahead. You can write it down whenever you want. It is obviously an open note test on this. When we get to that point in time, there was something dirty on my keyboard, so you got to watch me do that. Yeah, whatever. It's up to you. Write them, don't write them, live your life. If you didn't know where your kidneys were, they are on the posterior wall of the abdominal cavity, which means the backside of your abdomen. If you do remember anything about your vertebrae, kind of towards the lumbar section, so it goes 6, 12, 9, I don't remember, something like that. And then they are actually what is called retroperitoneal, which means they're in between the lining of your abdominal cavity and the lining of your back. So they're behind all that stuff. You have to cut through those things to get to it. And weirdly enough, because of how they fit together, your left one is normally like an inch higher than your right one. They look like a kidney bean. That's what that says. Convex laterally, concave medially, so they curve one side and the other side. And then there is a depression called the renal sinus. And the renal sinus, I believe this word here is called hilum, and that is how stuff gets into your kidney. So most of the stuff, the tubes come into that depressed area of your kidney, which when I'm doing these hand motions off the camera, you can't see them, like this one, you're just not knowing any clue what I'm doing right here. Yeah, hi. All the stuff enter from that spot. So you'll see it in the sweet picture because I'm a professional high school teacher, and go. Right, here you go. There's that depression I was talking about, right? That renal artery, renal vein, and this ureter tube, which you've seen all of on any number of different things. They're all there. That's that area. There's also an area called the renal pelvis. And then this word is actually pronounced calyces. You'll see it. How the kidneys work, and I'll show you probably, I think this next picture is even better. So this is a real kidney, just living right here, right? And all of these little depressed areas, these renal sinuses, are where stuff filters back in to go out this tube, right? So blood comes in, goes into these little out areas, this renal medulla and this cortex out here, and then it's filtered, and then all the stuff that gets filtered out of it goes into there's depressions here called the renal sinuses, and then they come out this ureter and you pee it out, and then the blood gets pushed back out the renal vein. So that's how your kidneys work. There you go. You're just living your best life. There's a capsule on the outside. Obviously, like anything else that is a capsule, it's called that. And then on the inside, there's this medulla area and then an outer cortex. So you'll see those. Oh, look, it's covering it. Wow, look at you. Hi, I'm in the lower right corner there. God, I look good today. Should be pretty simple, right? There's just parts, just like any other part you've learned in this class. You'll have to go through, and that's my alarm to take my attendance. And it turns out I have to do that right now. Killing it. Yeah, on the outside, renal cortex. So again, if you're looking at an individual area of part of the kidney, right, there's a medulla on the inside that kind of like filters stuff into this renal pelvis here. And then on the outside, there's like cortex, which forms a shell around those things in the filtration area. And then nephrons are out in the exterior part. So blood will come in, go to this exterior part, it'll get filtered, and then the filtrate, I'm hoping I'm using that word right, gets run off there. Oh look, section of a kidney from a rat. I'm really good at making these slides. If you didn't know what your kidneys do, they regulate your volume of blood. They also regulate how much water. Oh, see, look at this. Perfect time for me to hydrate, dominate while I'm explaining you this. I don't have my sweet water products lifted in school, coronavirus 2019. That's 2020. Your kidneys also regulate your pH composition. I'm going to put this down so you can see how sweet this Gap Year sweatshirt is. So they filter out a lot of the things like the salts and the other stuff that's in your blood. Oh, look, you can't see that, so I'll move it up. Hey. All that's part of how your kidneys function, right? Remove waste. That's what their main function is. Also, your kidneys help make this erythropoietin, which is a hormone, and then they make this renin enzyme, which helps regulate the amount of calcium that comes in. This erythropoietin is part of the adrenal gland, which is like superior to the kidney, just right on top of it. There's like a little weird gland that if you remember back to your cat cutting days, your rabbit cutting days, if you were in that group, it's just a little like blobby thing right on top of the kidney that helps the formation of red blood cells. As you come in, obviously arteries bring blood in, veins bring it back out to the heart. So you're coming in, if you don't remember, you had to find the renal artery on your rabbit or cat or rat or pig or whatever else you looked at. Renal arteries go in, renal veins come out, right? That's how blood works. Arteries are always away, veins are towards. Hey, look, I show you in the picture. This is so this up here would be your, up here would be where your heart is, right? And if you're looking down, you've got, this would be the thoracic aorta or the abdominal aorta, depending on where we're coming from. And then this would be inferior vena cava. And you've got some stuff coming off the top of it. Yeah, your kidneys. Common kidney disorders. I'll try to, if I can, make a webcast with my father-in-law, who's a kidney trauma surgeon, or is a kidney surgeon at that point in time, and a trauma surgeon. He'll talk about this if I can get him sometime next week. I'll just sit 6 feet away from him, or maybe we'll just interview like a sweet Schoology interview. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Polycystic kidney disease is a disease where your kidneys have big lumpy cysts on them, which is obviously not ideal. Cysts are just cell growing in an area that has no real function to it. Think like tumor, but not nearly as terrible. And that's what polycystic kidney disease, if you know Coach O'Connor, his father has polycystic kidney disease, has had kidney transfers. If you ever had Miss Anderson, she's got polycystic kidney disease, which means that, again, her kidneys have cysts on them and they grow abnormally large. My father-in-law will tell a story, or has told stories about having to take one out of a person, right? If your kidney, if you're thinking about it, is roughly like this big, right? You're looking at roughly the size of a fist, not super large. He took one out of a person that weighed, if you remember right, it was like 28 pounds. It was just like this monster kidney and looked like a giant football helmet coming out of somebody's body. That's huge. If you have polycystic kidney disease, here's some stuff in your, I think I've talked about this before, and I'll say it again. If you're ever peeing blood, that is never a good sign. Make sure you go to a doctor. Again, looking at kidneys, right? These ones don't normally function because they're covered in cysts. If you remember back to what a regular kidney looked like, neither of them look like that, and that is gross. I'm going to leave it up there for 10 more seconds so you can just get the gross stuff by it. Normally, if you have polycystic kidney disease, if they don't need to be taken out, they're left in your body to just sit there and do nothing. When they're harmful to you, they'll take your kidneys out and then put in a new one, kidney transplant. They don't put your kidneys in where they used to be. They actually put them on the underside of your pelvis. I'm pointing at things right now that are off this camera screen, not helpful to you. But they put them kind of where your pelvis, kind of the inside wall of one of your ilium bones, like the crest part on the outside of your pelvis. That's where they put a kidney, which is really weird because why wouldn't you just put it where it was? But normally they don't take the other one out unless it's detrimental to your life. If you've ever heard the term kidney stones, right? As you are taking stuff out, you obviously have a lot of dissolved salts in the stuff you eat. And if those don't get filtered out enough, you will then have like mineral deposits in. I don't know if, like when I was living in college, we had really hard water, not my palatial kind of estate, like we have soft water, but hard water leaves like mineral deposits on stuff. You know what we're talking about. If you don't have a water softener in your house, you would understand. That mineral deposit stuff is the same general concept. Like as you're filtering things out, if it's not all getting filtered out, that's never a good thing, right? And you'll have like stuff that'll keep accumulating bigger and bigger and bigger to chunks. Then you've got to get rid of it. Again, pink, red, or brown urine, never a good sign. Severe pain in the lower back, below the ribs, obviously pain where your kidneys are. I don't know if you've ever had cloudy, foul-smelling urine, but I'm not going to say I have or haven't, but that just sounds gross, so there you go. Kidney stones, too much protein, too much salt in your diet. These three, it's like, oh man, like everything in my life right now. I gotta drink more water. Hey, look at kidney stones. Hey guys, it's gross. Sometimes they are, normally you can pass them, which is as painful as it sounds, which means that they would have to travel out of your kidneys, down your ureter, get stuck in your bladder, and then go out your urethra. So you're literally peeing out a tiny pebble rock, which is painful. Sometimes they can, like sonically, I don't want to say the word compress, sonically like explode them. How about that for a little term? Right, well, they'll like put like ultrasonic waves in there, and then it shakes them up, and then they like dissolve, and then you can pee them out smaller chunks. But that's not the normal way. Normally, it's just you got to pass that kidney stone, which sounds terrible. That's it. That's where this one will stop. 11 minutes, because that seems like enough. We'll go through nephrons and how they work tomorrow. I feel like you've learned enough. Group hug. I miss you guys so much. Bye.